Welcome to the channel. If you're someone who believes in second chances, big dreams, and relentless comebacks, this story will speak straight to your soul. Today, we're diving into the incredible life of Donald J. Trump, a man who rose, fell, and rose again, defying every prediction and rewriting the rules of success. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon, because here, every story is meant to inspire you to take action, no matter where you are in life. Now, let's begin the story of a man who never learned how to quit. In the bustling streets of Queens, New York, a boy was born who would one day make the world stop and watch. His name was Donald John Trump, a name that, over the decades, would come to symbolize wealth, power, controversy, and above all, resilience. From his earliest years, he wasn't just another kid from a wealthy family. He was a storm waiting to happen, a personality that refused to blend in, a boy who was drawn to the thrill of competition and the taste of victory. Donald's father, Fred Trump, was already a successful real estate developer. He built affordable housing projects and earned a reputation as a tough businessman who could see opportunity where others saw risk. Growing up under that roof meant discipline, ambition, and an early introduction to the language of success. But Donald was different. He wasn't content with quiet achievement. He wanted the spotlight, the skyline, and the headlines. As a teenager, Donald's energy often crossed the line. His parents, worried that his confidence might turn into recklessness, sent him to the New York Military Academy. Instead of rebelling, he thrived. There, he discovered something critical: the value of discipline, leadership, and the hunger to win. That experience shaped him, turning a wild, restless boy into someone who wanted command, recognition, and results. After high school, Donald attended Fordham University for 2 years before transferring to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, one of the few business schools in America that taught real estate management at the time. He graduated in 1968 with a degree in economics, ready to join his father's business. But he didn't want to stay in the shadows. He wanted the world to know his name, not just the Trump name. In the early 1970s, when most developers focused on small neighborhoods, Donald looked at Manhattan, the glittering heart of the world, and saw his playground. The city was in decline, crime was high, and investors were scared. But Donald saw potential in chaos. His first major success came when he transformed the bankrupt Commodore Hotel into the luxurious Grand Hyatt. That single move redefined him. He wasn't just Fred Trump's son anymore. He was Donald Trump, the man who brought a dying building back to life. From there, he built an empire. Trump Tower rose on Fifth Avenue, a skyscraper of glass and gold that announced his arrival to the world. Every detail screamed opulence, from the marble floors to the shimmering waterfall in the lobby. It wasn't just a building, it was a message. Donald Trump had arrived, and he wanted everyone to know it. Throughout the 1980s, his empire expanded like wildfire. Casinos in Atlantic City, hotels in New York, golf courses, airlines, and even a yacht. Trump was building not just businesses, but a brand. The word Trump itself became a symbol of luxury, success, and ambition. His face began to appear on magazine covers. He moved in circles with celebrities and power players, becoming one of the most recognizable names in America. For Donald, the game wasn't just about making money. It was about creating impact. But life has a way of humbling even the boldest dreamers. In the early 1990s, the economy crashed, and so did Donald's empire. His casinos struggled, his debts soared, and critics laughed as they predicted his downfall. Newspapers ran headlines saying, "The Trump empire crumbles." For many, that would have been the end, a humiliating fall from grace. But Donald Trump wasn't built to quit. When others declared him finished, he refused to listen. He renegotiated loans, sold assets, and rebuilt his empire piece by piece. It wasn't easy. It wasn't glamorous, but it showed the world what resilience truly looks like. That's the first great lesson from Trump's story. You only lose when you stop fighting. The world will test you, mock you, and push you to your knees. But the real measure of strength is how you rise when everything falls apart. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Trump had bounced back. But this time, he wanted something even bigger than real estate. He wanted fame, the kind that never fades. In 2004, his reality show The Apprentice premiered on national television. Millions of Americans tuned in each week to watch Donald Trump judge aspiring entrepreneurs. His sharp words, his commanding tone, and his now iconic phrase, "You're fired," became part of pop culture. The show was a hit. Trump had mastered a new game, the media. But behind the scenes, something deeper was happening. He wasn't just entertaining people. He was shaping an image. A leader, a decision-maker, a man who knew how to win. Every episode built his credibility, not just as a businessman, but as someone who could lead. Then, in 2015, Donald Trump did something few believed possible. Standing before a crowd, he announced his candidacy for the presidency of the United States. Pundits laughed. Journalists dismissed him. Political experts said it was a publicity stunt. But they didn't understand the man. For Trump, the impossible was just another deal waiting to be made. He spoke directly to the people, unfiltered, bold, unapologetic. He broke political norms, challenged elites, and turned rallies into massive spectacles of energy and emotion. His slogan, "Make America Great Again," became a rallying cry. Millions felt that he spoke their frustration, their anger, their hope. He wasn't polished. He wasn't conventional. But he was real, and that authenticity shook the political establishment. In 2016, Donald Trump achieved what many considered unthinkable. He became the 45th president of the United States. The businessman, entertainer, and outsider had conquered the most powerful office in the world. It was a victory that symbolized defiance, proof that a man with no political background could rewrite the rules of politics. His presidency was as turbulent as his rise. Supporters saw a leader who challenged global trade deals, strengthened the economy, and put America first. Critics accused him of division and chaos. But one thing was undeniable. Trump changed politics forever. He redefined communication through his direct use of social media. He refused to follow traditions and instead created his own path. For better or worse, history would remember him. After 4 years in office, he faced one of the most contentious elections in U.S. history. He left the White House in 2021, but his story was far from over. Many thought he would disappear from the public eye, but like every chapter of his life, he came back. Stronger, louder, and still unafraid to speak his mind. And that's the second great lesson from Trump's journey. The world belongs to those who dare to stay relevant. You can lose a battle, but if you keep showing up, you'll always have another chance to win the war. Beyond politics, beyond business, Trump's life is a masterclass in branding and perseverance. He understood something most people never do, that perception shapes reality. He built his image so powerfully that even his failures became part of his legend. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. And that, in itself, is a kind of success few achieve. Even today, Trump remains one of the most talked about figures on the planet. He continues to inspire millions who see him as a symbol of resistance against the odds, and infuriate just as many who see him as the source of chaos. But regardless of which side you stand on, his journey is proof of what one person can do when they refuse to be defined by failure. Trump's story teaches us that life will never hand you success. You have to demand it, work for it, and sometimes even fight for it when the world tells you no. You will face bankruptcies, of money, of hope, of confidence, but those moments aren't endings. They are tests. The question isn't will you fail, it's will you rise again? From Queens to the Oval Office, Donald Trump's life is a testament to that relentless pursuit of greatness. He was never the smartest in the room, but he was always the most determined. He didn't follow the rules, he rewrote them. And whether you admire him or despise him, you cannot deny that he left a mark on history that will be studied for generations. So what can you learn from his story? Be bold enough to dream beyond logic. Be strong enough to fail publicly. Be stubborn enough to rebuild when everything collapses. And be fearless enough to believe that your voice, your vision, your name can matter. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't come to the perfect. It comes to the persistent. And persistence was Donald Trump's greatest weapon. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon. Because every story on this channel isn't just meant to inspire you. It's meant to push you to act. Stop watching life happen. Start building yours.